Hey everybody, it's Mr. Bold here. I want to show you a couple of things on this video. I want to show you how to work with these Google Slides because we're going to use this to do some vocabulary work. And I also want to show you or tell you about this word landscape. Now, I use the dictionary, and you can too. Use Google if you need to look up words when you're trying to define them. That's okay. Um, so I used the word, or I used the dictionary to find the word landscape, and it says that landscape is a view of an area and its natural surroundings. Oh, yeah, I made a mistake, didn't I? I have and area instead of an area. That's okay. We all make mistakes. Um, so now I have to put that in my own words. How would I talk about landscape or say, and and what I might say about landscape is I might say that it's what I can see from where I am. Now, I made other mistakes here too. First of all, I got to think of where, not were. Where has an H in it. Don't ask me why. Um, English is just weird that way. But I should always, the word I should always be capitalized. That is a first grade mistake. If you leave that without fixing it, that is a first grade mistake. And you guys are excellent writers. You can do this like a fifth grader. We're not texting, we're typing. So let's talk about synonyms and antonyms. You guys, I'm sure, have learned in the past that synonyms are words that mean the same thing and antonyms are words that mean the opposite. So again, I used the dictionary on Google. This time I did use Google to find synonyms for the word landscape. And it could also mean things like outlook or scenery or vista. So those are some. Oh, and panorama too. I almost forgot panorama. So those are words that mean the same thing as landscape. Now, I couldn't find any antonyms that you could use with landscape. I didn't see any opposites to landscape there, so I'll let that one go this time. So now a picture representation is what I'm going to do next. And this is a little bit tricky, and don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get it perfect. I'll try and get you hard copies of this too so you can draw it instead of do writing, but I want you to try and do it on Google if you can. So when I do this on here, I'm going to use some of these tools here to do it. So this drawing tool here allows me to draw lines and curves. So I'll draw a line first to model the horizon, the land, and then the forms, the scape on the land. So and now we'll make a couple of other lines here. Let's make another line. Here, one going up this way. And I'll make one more line. Don't need to change the color. I'll make one more. Oops, I'm changing that line. I don't want to do that. So I have to get off of that and then add another line. And now I'm going to make this, and you can see I have a lovely mountain right there. But, where we live, it's not really mountains. It's more, the landscape has a lot more to do with hills. So I'll make some nice curvy hills. And the best way to do this is to click it when you want to move through here and double click it when you're done. So you can see my hills, you can see my mountain. That's my landscape here. You could add different things that you see in your landscape if you want. Just be creative with it. And if you're struggling with this tool, get on Zoom and ask me to help you, and I'll help you with that. I'll have my Zoom office hours available so I can help kids with this. Now, finally, on this form, I want to do sentences. I want to write a little bit because, writing shows that we can think. That's Writing is really important in all that we do. So when I write a little bit about this, I picked a sentence that made sense to me. I climbed hill to get a view of the landscape. Pretty simple, one sentence. Notice it has a capital at the beginning and a period at the end because I expect you to write like a fifth grader, like I already said. I know I'm repeating myself, Mr. Bold. One other thing I want to show you here is a breakdown of this word landscape. So landscape, and here's the definition of it again. Oh, it doesn't like that apostrophe there. Okay, we'll get rid of that. A view of an area with its natural surroundings. You can see the two parts of the word land. Well, we know what land is because we've been thinking about land and ocean. Land as in words like landform, landfill, and landmark. And scape, I had to dig around a little bit for that, but scape is an old word that they used to use in place of escape. Um, but it also means something similar to landscape, the view, and it's used in the word cityscape as well. So, like I said, I'm going to give you a challenge to use a Google Sheet like this, and I'll give you a copy of this sheet on your Google Classroom to play with to define a different word that I'm going to tell you about in the assignment, and it'll come from your reading. So you'll need to make sure you read the history magazine to get an understanding of that word. I'm not going to spill it to you yet. You're going to have to look for it and find it. Again, hit me up on Google Classroom or talk to me, call me, do whatever you need to do. Just send me an email, whatever you need to do if you need help. Don't just sit and say, I can't do it. Ask for help. It's not failure until you don't ask anyone for help. If you give up, then it becomes failure. And I know you guys can do this. We can persevere through these challenging times. So I look forward to seeing you on Zoom pretty soon, guys. Take care of yourselves.